Hello Barmy Badger Army, welcome to this special episode where it's myself and the lovely John who had a big part in Begettomania and creates the music, a lot of the music for the show, and today we're going to talk about the NWO New World Order,
biggest icon in wrestling.
And we're going to talk about WCW, and we're going to talk about the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, my favourite period of wrestling.
Right, so let's start off. John, tell us a little bit about the inspiration for the NWO.
So there were two Japanese wrestling promotions.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I know it wasn't New Japan Pro Wrestling, because New Japan Pro Wrestling has been around since the 60s.
Right, yeah.
I think it was the first major promotion in Japan.
Okay.
And then there was All Japan.
That's it.
So New Japan was like Antonio Inoki. You know, he was sort of like the Hulk Hogan of Japan. So it was the smaller leagues. I can't remember the name, but Eric Bischoff saw the one Japanese promotion invade the other one and thought, that's a great idea.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's how he got the idea.
Yeah, so because he almost created an organisation within an organisation. It was fantastic marketing, really.
Well, a lot of fans thought that the invasion was real. They thought Kevin Nash, it was like the WWF of invading WCW, because the way it was done with Scott Hall coming through the crowd, and because the commentators didn't say nothing, it made it more spontaneous.
That's it.
So he came through the crowd and he said, I'm trying to remember what he said. He said, "Hey, you people, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
That's it.
Where is the Macho Man? That punk can't even get in the building. Where is the Hulkster? Where's Billionaire Ted? Because of WCW. Hey, you want a war? You're going to get one."
You know what it was? Also, they literally was able to stop their contract, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And then one day, I think they chucked their titles in the bin, and then they started with WCW the next day.
You're thinking of Medusa.
I am, but that's literally what happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They literally finished their contract one day, and then ended up back in another one straight away. And it still happens to this day. You've got wrestling stars from WWE and AEW and stuff finishing their contract one day, and then going to a different company the day after.
Yeah, so...
Like Eric Young, he's recently gone from WWE back to
TNA, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gone back to TNA, and that was literally within a day, because he literally went nope and boom, and he's back in TNA now. So anyway, we're segueing.
I'm going off track a little bit, but so when did you start watching wrestling?
I started watching wrestling in the early 90s.
I started watching wrestling about I can't remember watching, but the first event we did watch was SummerSlam 93.
Okay,
but the first wrestling memory I have is, do you remember the ladder match between Razor and Shawn Michaels?
I think so, yeah.
I can remember vividly now, like Shawn Michaels jumping off the ladder.
Yes.
That's the first wrestling memory I have.
Oh, really, yeah.
And we did, and I'm trying to think, we stopped watching it for a while because we couldn't afford Sky. And then I got back into it with the Monday Night Wars.
That's it, yeah.
So I started watching WCW on, trading VHS tapes back in the Stone Age, VHS tapes.
At midnight.
You know,
with a cloaked figure.
Back in the day.
Man in the van.
Yeah,
do you want this video?
Man in the van. Do you want this video? That's it. Oh, sorry, I'm off topic again. We must battle those video nasties.
yeah. And the man come round in the van and you watch The Lion King in black and white.
Have you got The Lion King? Hang on, what's this? What's Cannibal Holocaust? It's Cannibal Holocaust, a film for all the family. I started watching WCW on VHS tape.
Yeah.
And the first thing that struck me was Hulk Hogan was a bad guy.
That's it, yeah.
Holy shit.
Down,
shocking.
Spitting at the crowd. The glasses, spitting at the crowd and everything.
I know the beard was painted on, but the beard, the swagger.
That's it, yeah. He really did it, didn't he?
Do you know what I mean? The belt.
That's it. The belt, like using it as a guitar and stuff.
The first bad guy I ever loved.
Yeah, me too.
And then I got into
and he was and he looked slightly different as well. Like his general demeanour had changed. He was a bit thinner.
Yeah.
He'd probably stopped taking the roids.
Yeah, he did at that time.
He did. So he'd he was less medicated, and then and there was all this sort of stuff where his general look had changed. He was a bit more fitter, a bit leaner. It was good.
Yeah.
And it felt like, wow, he can wrestle again, you know. Because when he'd finished with WWF, he was a bit knackered. And then he's come to WCW and he was there.
And the character was tired.
Yes, yeah.
It was worn. It was like 80s anaesthetic of say your prayers. It was passé. The 90s was the decade of the anti-hero.
That's it, you know.
So he got rid of that character before his character really faded away.
That's it, and that was great when they did that, and that was fantastic. It was like a breath of fresh air. Do you remember the match?
Can I ask you a question?
Do you remember that match?
Can I ask you one question?
Go on.
Right. Do you know when Hogan, I don't know if you remember, you know when Hogan came down before he turned heel?
Yeah.
Do you think Bobby Heenan spoiled the result?
I don't know. I don't know about that. You'll have to explain that a bit more to me.
So Bash at the Beach 96. So Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were the outsiders.
Right, yeah.
They were talking about a third man.
That's it,
we got a third man, we're going to take over. So they were building that up. So they power bombed Eric Bischoff for a table at the previous event. So the only ones...
Which was ironic because Eric Bischoff ended up being the quasi-leader of the NWA.
Which in a way killed him in a way. So they've been building this matchup since Great American Bash. You had Kevin Nash, Scott Hall versus Lex Luger, Sting, and Randy Savage.
That's it.
So towards the end of the match, everyone's like Kevin Nash low blows Randy Savage. They're all out.
Yeah, that's
Hulk Hogan comes out.
You think
and Tony Schiavone says Hulk Hogan is in the building. You're damn right he is. And then Bob Heenan says, yeah, but whose side is he on? Because Heenan never liked Hogan.
No.
Although Heenan was, even when Hogan turned, he never liked Heenan.
Because not being funny, at that point, you thought Hogan was going to come in and save the day for the guys,
But Heenan never liked Hogan. The last long-term wrestling, Heenan never liked Hogan since AWA.
Yeah.
He never liked Hogan.
And what was AWA, sorry?
AWA was the American Wrestling Association, Vern Gagne.
Okay.
So Hogan, that's where the Hulkamania character became popular.
Okay, yeah.
And he also did Japan.
Yeah.
And his wrestling matches in Japan,
yes,
they don't get enough credit.
No, you were saying that.
They don't.
We've talked about this for years, haven't we? Ever since we know each other. You were like, Hogan's matches in Japan are very good.
Yeah.
And you're right, he's a lot faster, he's a lot leaner, and he gets to show his talent.
But in America, all he had to do was that, and the crowd would go nuts. That's all he had to do.
That's it.
But in Japan...
Because it was like this,
he was trained... Because Hogan was trained by Hiro Matsuda, who was considered a Japanese shooter.
Yeah.
So if you went to his wrestling school... Because, according to legend, you know what Hogan is like, exaggerate.
According to Hogan, he was a member of Metallica.
I nearly joined Metallica, brother.
That didn't really happen.
No, it didn't really happen. No.
Why he said that, I'm not sure.
But he was trained by Hiro Matsuda, and Hiro Matsuda was notorious. So the first, according to legend, the first day Hogan got to the training camp, Hiro Matsuda broke his leg and said, don't come back.
Really?
And then 6 months later, Hogan comes back, and Hiro Matsuda was like, wow. So if Hogan was in a fight, he could probably do some damage.
Yeah, because he was a big guy and he could handle it.
Would you want to mess with him mid-80s in his prime? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, no. I don't think I want to mess with Hogan now.
Yeah, because there was one guy trying to mess with him. He was in Kansas City in a hotel and this guy was shouting him. He said, let me tell you something, brother. I'm entitled to have a drink by myself.
Yeah.
The last time I had a shitty temper was with your wife, brother. Have a good day, brother. Love you, brother.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with the 24-inch pythons even now.
No.
But yeah, even though he's clocking on 80, isn't he? Or something.
He's 70. He's 70 next month. Yeah.
Who's older, Ric Flair or Hogan?
Ric Flair.
Yeah, because Ric Flair's got a new energy drink coming out now, believe it or not. Woo! Legal mushrooms. That's literally what it's made of.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's literally what it's made of. Legal mushrooms.
Yeah.
So you can buy your hot and spicy wings. That's what you tried before.
Woo!
Woo! They were called Woo Wings.
Woo, and I got a hard on that. Woo! For legal mushrooms. Woo!
But they were called Woo Wings, and that flopped.
Let me get my private pass on a plane. Woo! And do a helicopter. Woo! Dirty sod. Allegedly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what Ric Flair made. He made Woo Wings. And that obviously flopped, and now he's trying to make an energy drink. Because apparently, everyone's had these wings and they were horrible. So that went out the can straight away.
Didn't he try and make his own marijuana?
Maybe. I think that's the thing.
I'm sure he did. I might be wrong.
And this is where the whole thing with the mushrooms has come in, because he's now mates with RVD and all that sort of stuff. But we're Omega segueing. Yeah. Let's get back to where we were before. Yeah. But of course, Ric Flair was part of WCW as well.
This is ADHD. This is bipolar in a nutshell.
And a sprinkling of autism. Yeah. Anyway, but yes. Yeah. But yeah, so we're Omega segueing. But
so Hogan came down.
Yeah.
So because everyone thought he's gonna save Savage.
That's it. Everyone thought he was going to save Savage.
But Bobby Heenan said, "Whose side is he on?"
That's it.
Do you think that spoilt it a little bit, or was that just Heenan being? He was a long-term rival of Hogan. He just hated Hogan.
I mean, maybe. I don't remember the build-up to that, but was there some elements of Hogan being heelish beforehand?
Now you pick up on that. Okay, so when the Giant first came in, because Hogan brought in Paul White.
That's it. Yeah,
he brought him in, and I don't know if he trained him, but he brought him in because he saw potential in him.
That's it.
So there was a really crap story in the Dungeon of Doom. Remember that?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So they were out to kill Hulkamania. Right? So because Hogan was struggling with the Dungeon of Doom, he decided to take on like a dark side of himself.
Yeah.
So he wore black and glasses. Remember that?
No.
Briefly in November '95, and there's this one segment they did vignette. Hogan, he looks like a druid. He's got a mask on, and he says, "Brother, this water is too cold." I'm like, what? So you could see at that point you needed the NWO because it became too cartoonish.
That's it, yeah. He needed to flip the character. And that it goes down in legend forever now. Yeah. There will never be a heel turn like that. Yeah. I think the only heel turn they could have ever done with that John Cena would have been perfect.
Do you know?
Because not being funny, they tried it with Jeff Hardy.
Didn't work.
And it didn't work. And then he created that character, Willow. Please look that up. It's a weird, obscure, different personality of Jeff Hardy. Yeah. And that didn't work really either, because it was like his version of The Undertaker, and it was a bit weird. Yeah.
Do you think the best time for John Cena to turn heel was when he was feuding with CM Punk?
Yes, definitely.
Because at that time, CM Punk was out selling Cena merchandise.
That's it.
They could have had Cena be like the Rock corporate Cena.
That's it.
Because Vince didn't like CM Punk. So they think, well, I don't want CM Punk. Let's turn Cena heel. Have a corporate Cena, like, glasses and a limousine. So, screw the fans, I do it for the money.
Not even corporate Cena. I don't know if you've watched the match with Wade Barrett, where it was like a weird...
It's about the Nexus.
Yeah, no. It was like a weird lucid dream match. And it was really weird. It was with Wade Barrett as the Fiend, and it was against Cena, and it was like a weird movie style dream. And in that film, he was actually part of the NWO with Hogan, and it was really bizarre because then that painted him to be that corporate stooge who just did it for the money, and it was like Hollywood Cena. That makes sense.
Because talking of corporate rock, so the first Raw I remember seeing, because I stopped watching, because we didn't have Sky for a couple of years.
Yeah.
The first Raw I remember, so obviously I'd watched tapes of WCW, got into the NWO, and got into the... And I tell you what else really fascinated me about WCW was the Cruiserweight division.
Yes, the Cruiserweight division was fantastic.
I thought it was great. I thought it was because I liked La Parka. I loved that.
Yeah, La Parka, Rey Mysterio. Who was the other guy who were the black and white? It wasn't Vampiro, but
Psychosis.
Juventud
Guerrera.
Yeah,
Chris Jericho.
Juicy Fruit Guerrero.
I always remember that list.
Because I always call him Juicy Fruit, because that's what they call him,
I remember the Chris Jericho, the first list he did. He says, Malenko, you claim to know 1,000 hours, but I got them all down. 1,004. Number 1, arm bar. Number 2, headlock. Number 3, arm bar. And you think, he's saying the same words over and over. That was great. He was so entertaining, Chris Jericho.
That's it. Chris Jericho was not used correctly in WCW.
No. That's because of Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg. Now let's look at the Monday Night Wars. Now, obviously, like we were going to talk about, so let's try not to segue too much. But do you think Goldberg and the NWO were the moneymakers in Monday Night Wars? Do you think that? Do you think that was the main thing? Do you think NWO was what started the war? Because obviously WWE had DX, didn't they?
Well, the Monday Night War started in '95, and it was sort of like I can compare it to you. It was sort of like the first couple of months of the Second World War. It was like a phony war. Like there wasn't much going on.
That's it.
There were certain memorable things like Lex Luger jumping over, Medusa chucking the belt in the bin.
That's it.
But it wasn't. There wasn't anything. I can't describe it. I can't think of the word.
Manufactured? No, it wasn't.
No, manufactured.
It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel
real.
No.
It was like it didn't feel like a real war. It felt like the first couple of years of the Second World War. Because the first couple of years of the Second World War, not much action happened.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like a phony war. You had bits and pieces, but there wasn't a storyline. The strong storyline that resonated with people. And of course, with the NWO, apart from in Japan, it hadn't been done in America.
No, that's it.
So when you had Kevin Nash and Scott all come over from the NWO, new people were tuning in.
That's it. Because they wanted to tune in for their stars, didn't they? That's it.
I mean, the NWO were the draw.
Yeah.
They made the money, but at the same time, the undercard worked harder than them.
That's
because people like Sting, Hogan, Lex Luger, they didn't do many house shows.
That's it, no.
So the main events on the house shows could be, for example, Perry Saturn versus Raven in a Raven's Rules match.
That's it, and all that sort of stuff in a hardcore rules match.
I think you need to give
and you probably
the Cruiserweights credit and the NWO need to.
That's it.
Because it wouldn't have worked without they wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, they're the two memorable. Well, there's three memorable things for WCW for me: Goldberg's streak, Goldberg in general, NWO, Cruiserweights.
Yeah,
that's what I remember. With that,
because
obviously the streak was monetary value because that was obviously rivaling Undertaker's streak. So Undertaker's streak, Undertaker's streak. As he got older and older, that only happened on special events, maybe every 2 years or every year. Whereas Goldberg's streak, they counted it from every match won, didn't they?
Yeah, the streak.
So what was it like, 101-0 or something in the end?
It wasn't even accurate. It was like 174-0, and of course Kevin Nash.
Yeah, came in and got him. Yeah. That was the worst element. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Kevin Nash, and he's had a lot of personal tragedy now with his son dying and stuff like that. But at the time, he was the ultimate real-life heel.
He probably admit that himself.
Yeah, because he was just as bad as Hogan. Yeah. That doesn't work for me. And he didn't want to lose to Goldberg, did he? So they did it in a fake way, didn't they? Something like he got tasered or something?
Yeah, Scott Hall. So Scott Hall came down with a taser and tasered him.
Yeah.
And it pretty much killed the momentum of WCW because
that's it.
Because when you compare the both companies,
because if you think that at one point the Goldberg streak was what was bringing the money in, right?
So I would say the peak of the war was summer '98.
No, okay.
So when you compare the two companies at the time, you've got Goldberg as a champion.
That's it.
You've got Austin as a champion.
That's it.
You've got arguably
who I think are actually quite sociable together because they did work a program together in WWE, right?
Well, Austin and Goldberg.
Yeah.
Well, they never wrestled a match, but they did work together.
Yeah, they sort of did it like they were friends, sort of thing.
So you had Austin as your champion in WWE, WWF. You had Goldberg, but I think WCW had a stronger undercard.
Because if you think it's a bit like AEW now, isn't it? Where they got tons and tons of good wrestlers.
Yeah. So a stereotypical Nitro could be Psychosis versus Chris Jericho,
which would have been a banging match. That's main event quality right there, right?
William Regal versus Fit Finlay.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio,
which would have been fun.
They always had good matches.
They always had good matches.
I think WCW lacked they lacked a good tag team division. You had Kevin Nash and Scott all pretty much champions all the way through it.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the Dancing Fools. Remember them? Alex Wright and Disco Inferno.
No, I remember.
They're quite entertaining. I've watched him. It's quite.
I remember Disco Inferno, but I don't remember him being a tag man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite entertaining.
You know, I remember, obviously Misfits in Action.
Yeah, that's
and
yeah,
and I remember Chronic as well. Chronic.
Yeah, they were great.
And they were mates with the Undertaker in real life. Yeah.
But WWF at the time had a stronger tag team division.
Yes.
And they had better main events. Because it was always with WCW, a lot of their main events, it was just run-ins all the time. DQ.
Yes.
Hogan versus Piper, DQ. It's like, come on. All the time.
And even their names in, like, I mean, obviously you had Bash at the Beach, Halloween Havoc. Some of the WCW names were better than the WWF ones.
Yeah.
But then some of the other ones were pants. I mean, the fact that they managed to, nothing beats WrestleMania as the ultimate wrestling card. And the fact that now it runs on 2 nights is pretty epic, really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I wish that had happened when I was like fully into wrestling, because I think that would be insane to sit there all that time.
Oh, the ratings back then, there's about 15 million people watching.
If they'd have done it back then, I think they missed
Might
the trick.
Might be more even, I don't know.
They'd have definitely missed the trick, yeah.
Do you know the highest rated segment is in the Monday Night Wars?
No, go on.
The Rock, This Is Your Life.
Oh,
that is the highest rated segment in the Monday Night War. And the highest rated wrestling match is Undertaker versus Steve Austin. I think it's May 1999.
Oh, okay.
They had a match on Raw.
Because that doesn't happen that much, does it? No.
Because when we're talking about, Goldberg, I mean, the Goldberg was their best ammunition against WWE at the time.
That's it, yeah.
Because the NWO by mid 1998, it oversaturated.
That's it, yeah. And I just want to talk to you quickly about the Goldberg versus William Regal match before we move on.
So Steve Austin talked about William Regal talks on his podcast.
That's it, yeah.
He said, well,
and
Eric,
this actually got William Regal fired.
Yeah, it did. He said, Eric, is Eric come up to me? I can't do it. Exactly.
Eric come up to me.
He says, you know what I mean?
Eric come up to me.
You know what
He's
I mean?
a big
Eric
come up to me.
Eric came up to me, you know what I mean? And he said, you know that Goldberg, you know what I mean? You gotta give him a competitive match, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I went out there, you know what I mean? And he's not. I'm trying to do a move with him, and he's like a grizzly bear. You know what I mean? He's stubborn. He's not working with me. He's not, So it's like, what are you doing? So I potatoed him a couple of times. You know what I mean? And he's still not doing nothing. You know what I mean? I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because that was the stiffest match he'd ever done. But I really loved it. When I watched that, I was like, oh my God, is Goldberg going to lose? There was literally a legitimate threat.
The only one.
The only one. And for me, that was fantastic. Goldberg absolutely hates that match. But for me, as a viewer and as a Goldberg fan, it got me riled up. I was like, oh my God, is he going to lose? What's going to happen?
It was a shock when he beat Hogan.
Yeah.
Because Hogan didn't do very, very lost.
No. And that's what I mean. It was fantastic when you saw that Goldberg was actually being challenged. Yeah. But it made you really scared that he was going to lose. But in a really good way.
People criticise Hogan, but when he does lose, it's memorable.
Yeah.
Because when he tapped out the Kurt Angle King of the Ring, that was a shock.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Because he very rarely did stuff like that. So it was like a shock for him to lose like that.
That's it. Because that's the thing. Like, people do slag him off a lot, but when he loses, he loses.
It's memorable.
It's memorable, and he loses good. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Because he's only lost. I mean, according to Reddit, well, we know what Reddit's like, but according to legend, he's only lost to 14 people in wrestling. I don't believe that. See,
is that
because that only covers because before he was Hulk Hogan, he wrestled under a mask in Florida as the Super Destroyer. He lost then.
It does depend on if you include his stuff as
Sterling Golden.
What's it?
Sterling Golden.
No, as what was it called? Mr. America.
Yeah.
So obviously there was Mr. America. There was Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Here's a challenge.
Oh,
Let's see if we can name all of Hulk Hogan's losses.
Oh.
Right.
No.
It doesn't have to be clean either. It could be people cheated. So
all right. So you've obviously got at some point he lost against Sting. We talked about that.
So he lost to Sting pinfall and submission.
Yes, definitely Goldberg at some point.
Yeah.
Definitely Undertaker, because Hogan had the title and Undertaker won it off him.
But that was interference.
Yeah.
Interference.
Okay.
Kurt Angle, it was clean.
Okay.
Kurt Angle. Triple H on SmackDown.
Yes, you're right. Triple H, yeah.
Are we doing clean losses or just all losses?
All losses.
All losses. So I'm trying to think. The earliest one I can think was just recorded is Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Okay.
In 1979.
Okay.
The Sterling Golden.
A year before I was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sterling Golden. He lost to Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Various pinfalls. Tony Atlas.
Okay.
After that, he took him. Antonio Inoki in Japan.
Yeah.
Pinfall and submission. So he lost to Tony Atlas in 81. Then it took him 9 years for him to lose.
Really?
Because Vince protected him so much.
Yeah, that's it.
And then he lost to the Warrior by clean. That was clean as a whistle.
Was that
WrestleMania 6?
Was that proper Warrior or
Ultimate Warrior?
Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior, yeah. Ultimate Warrior.
So that wasn't when he changed his name. Or
No. So, that was when he was still Jim Hellwig.
Okay.
So then a year later he lost to Undertaker, which he claimed Undertaker broke his neck, but it wasn't true.
No.
Undertaker. Then he lost to Yokozuna. Then he got to WCW. Then he lost to Arn Anderson.
Right.
Then he lost to Rick.
Did he lose?
He got hit with a shoe by Miss Elizabeth, and he lost to pinfall by Ric Flair.
Right.
Then he lost to a shoe again with Arn Anderson. Then he lost clean to Piper at Starrcade 96.
Okay.
Then he lost to Lex Luger 3 times, clean. So Lex Luger in 97. Do you know what I mean? Hogan must have a lot of respect for Lex Luger for him to lose submission 3 times. So he lost to Lex Luger. It was on a Nitro.
Right.
I think it was June the 9th, 97.
Right, okay.
Then he lost to Lex Luger by submission at Bash of the Beach 97.
Okay, yeah.
Then he lost to Lex Luger August 97 when it was the 100th episode of Nitro, so they wanted to do something special.
Yeah.
So Hogan suggested to lose the belt to Luger.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And then he lost to Sting a lot of times on house shows.
Okay.
And then he lost to Goldberg. Pinfall, probably the most memorable loss he's ever had.
That's it, yeah.
Then he lost to Ric Flair in 99 in the steel cage match.
Yeah.
And then he lost to Sting again a couple of times. And the weirdest one when he lost to Billy Kidman a couple of times.
That was a weird one.
Mike Awesome he lost to.
Yeah, Mike Awesome.
Vampiro's got a pinfall over him.
Really? Yeah. Nice
and then,
one. Mike Awesome was one of my secret favourites, but go on, carry on.
Yeah, so then you're Vampiro, and then back to WWE, lost to The Rock, lost to Undertaker.
That's it.
Triple H.
That's it.
Kurt Angle, and then to Sting in TNA.
That's
There's
it.
a few. It's more than 14 losses.
And I'm pretty sure he lost because it's not Mankind, but it was obviously TNA's version of it. Abyss. Did he not lose to Abyss?
No, he never. They
tagged teams.
They tagged together, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Abyss was one of these characters, like this is Omega segue again, but Abyss was one of these characters where was fantastic. I really love Abyss, and I know he liked it, but he went for this weird thing where he must have been given his own direction on the character. So he then had this weird thing where Abyss was part of his imagination and stuff. And he was like the real person had woken up. And then Abyss was part of his...
Didn't he have another persona?
Yeah, because...
Michael Parks?
Yeah, it was like corporate... It was pretty much corporate Abyss and normal and weird Abyss. And he started using the Abyss character less and less. And then it sort of... The program didn't really work because people wanted Abyss. And then he sort of faded away after that.
Was that the one with Steerich played the Doctor?
Maybe, yeah. And it really didn't work.
Dr. Stevie.
Yeah, it really didn't work because they should have just kept the Abyss character. I think because he got a bit injured, didn't like taking the bumps anymore. So then they stopped that.
Well, he took a lot of bumps, man.
Yeah, and I think that was why they did it. He didn't want to wrestle as much. And then he became a manager behind the scenes at WWE.
As we're talking about bumps, the most vivid bump ever for me is Mankind, the King of the Ring.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's the brutality.
Yeah, there is that, obviously off the steel cage.
And that was the thing with the Attitude Era. They set the bar so high.
That's it.
They couldn't go any higher. It's like the TLC matches. You couldn't go any higher.
Yeah. I mean, I like that one. There's obviously, but there's what's it called? The Boneyard match with AJ Styles and Undertaker.
Yeah,
Undertaker. See, that is Undertaker's last official match. If you don't count all the weird ones where he goes to Arabia and that.
I wouldn't recommend the Gold match.
No. But that is the Boneyard match is full on. I was going to say on eBay, but on YouTube. It's full on YouTube, and you can watch all of it. AJ Styles versus the Undertaker. It's one of the. I like the cinematic matches, and you can tell that Undertaker, the way he acts and stuff, you could tell he was able to act it out, and you can tell AJ Styles is a good actor, and you can tell the way they do it. And some of the bumps on that are fantastic, when they're literally climbing up and down houses and stuff. And you think, wow, you're brave. And that is the most hair-raising thing for me, because it's like being thrown off a house and stuff. Is pretty mental for
It's crazy, it was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
As an 8-year-old watching, I was like,
but
it's
that's
like real life superheroes to me.
But that's what I mean. Like, and then you've got like AJ in this Boneyard match. You've got AJ Styles and him messing about on top of forklift trucks and stuff. So I do recommend it, and it feels real. And I think there was changing it slightly. There was another match where it was the Hardy Boys. It was Matt Hardy versus somebody else, and they did a video style match. I think it was TNA that started doing them, and I really like them. But they haven't. I think the Boneyard match was the last cinematic match they did, but I really like.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. But yes, so I think we need to wrap up there. But thank you very much for joining me, John.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely right, sir.
And apologies if we've missed out anything we promised we were going to talk about, but this was a proper ramble, but we enjoyed it, indeed.
No, I can't think of anything.
I think we've covered everything, but if not, we'll do some more another time.
DX or NWO?
Yes. Well, no, we did NWO.
No,
what you mean in general?
Would you prefer DX or NWO?
Oh, it's always going to be NWO, but I do have a soft spot for DX.
I would put it into like years. So 96, 97 NWO.
Yeah.
98, 99 DX.
Yes. And the fact that DX actually, Triple H and Shawn Michaels actually stormed the WCW building.
Oh,
yeah, that's fantastic.
They should have let him in the building. Imagine him on the tank.
Yeah, I think that would have been fantastic. Let them in.
Yeah, let them in.
I would have gone, sod the damage, just let's let them in. I think that would have been right.
That would have been brilliant.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment either during the live stream or, of course, afterwards in the comment section. And we have a good old chat about some wrestling finagling wibbles. Look after yourselves, keep safe, keep well, much love everyone, and I'll see you in the next vlog, video, stream, movie or short, and a big shout out to Synth John for joining me. Star of Baguetta Mania and the creator of the music on the show, and no doubt John will be appearing in some more films soon.
Yes.
Bye! Woo! Woo!
My ears bleed. What you gonna do when Badger Media stumbles on you?
What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you?
Eat Jaffa pies and take steroids.
That's it, Jaffa pies, brother. See you later, everyone. Bye.
That was very good.